It'd be really cool if my bangs cooperated with me. I'm so with every fic, I'm so tempted to spoil everything. Like, I just want to talk about it's like my favorite scenes and stuff, but I can't do it. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone. This is going to be a spoiler-free video. Just good fic recommendations. Hi, loserchildhotpants here, also known as Melly the Hun, and occasionally I'm known by my real name Melanie, not often on the internet, but it's been known to happen. For those of you wondering, I got over my cold, and I'm fine now. Thank you. So I used a random number generator to generate 10 different numbers, and I went through my AO3 bookmarks and randomly chose 10 fics to talk about and gush over and recommend. So here we go. Fic number 1 is No Homo by Genova, wherein college student Styles seeks a totally platonic friend via Craigslist, and Derek responds to the ad. No Homo has over 3,500 bookmarks and over 1,400 comments. And you probably already know it and love it, but I'm talking about it anyway. Several fan favorite tropes within the story, and pretty amazing porn. This is a very long fic at just above 84,000 words. I warn you about this because I started it one night at like 8 p.m. Really bad idea. Really bad idea. Because I was like in bed thrashing around and squealing until 3 a.m. On a more serious note, No Homo includes some really, really good and realistic examples of microaggressions and like the issues and downfalls of societal expectations of masculinity and casual homophobia. These are the major conflicts in the story that Sterek must overcome. Some of these topics are brought to the surface and like blatantly spoken about in the realist sort of terms, and in some conversations it's skirted around. It's just a really good, thought-provoking story. It's enough of an alternate universe that, at times, it stands as its own original work, with like just familiar faces in our heads. It's really, really well done. It's a fantastic read, and I recommend it to everyone. Again, very long. Don't start it at 8 p.m. Learn from my mistakes. Fic number 2. Come With Me and Walk the Longest Mile by Devil Doll. Everyone in the Sterek fandom should know, love, and worship Devil Doll. But if you don't know who Devil Doll is in the amazing, fantastical world of AO3, I urge you to read all of their fics at your earliest convenience. Come With Me and Walk the Longest Mile is not only an ABO alternate universe, but also a zombie apocalypse alternate universe. I know. I'm excited too. It's just under 40,000 words. It's got almost 600 comments and over 1,600 bookmarks. And if I'm being honest, for the genius and the fun that this fic is, those stats are still not enough. Derek and Styles make an unlikely team, brought together entirely by fate, and there's zombie brain smashing, fantastical sexual tension, and they're both incredibly in character. Devil Doll is an amazing fic author, and when it comes to keeping characters true to their canon personalities, they hit the mark every time. Styles and Derek's journey in the story is so vivid, has such a solid timeline, and such a complete A to B finish that it feels like you're experiencing their travels with them. Definitely take the time to give this fic the love it deserves. Fic number 3. Weave soft spells over my sight as thy false eyes do, by Agnes Blue. At over 51,000 words and nearly 200 comments and just under 700 bookmarks, Weave Soft Spells is an amazing alternate universe fic that everyone should go bookmark and comment on immediately. Weave Soft Spells considers an alternate reality where Styles is not only much older than Derek, but something like an assistant to the entire Hale family. There's a lot of angst in this fic, which I'm a personal fan of. I love angst, but I know it's not for everyone. If you're not an angst lover, this is probably not the fic for you. But there's really, really fascinating relationship dynamics, and they're really well written. As a fair warning, this fic includes some pretty graphic domestic violence and some dubious consent. But the moral ambiguity of the characters and the situations they fall into is part of what makes the story so good and so interesting. In my opinion, this fic is way underappreciated. It's such a good fic, and I encourage everyone to go give it a read and leave some love in the comments. It's an emotional roller coaster. There's a lot of angst. I promise you won't regret it. It's a great fic. Go read it. Fic number 4 is Spark, Smolder, Catch by Cue the Lights, which is the letter Q, the lights, which I think is very cute. Spark, Smolder, Catch is a fic that basically everyone in the Stark fandom wishes were canon. It's a hurt comfort fic featuring the destruction and resurrection of the Hale house, and I think I've probably read this fic like 6 or 7 times already. It's a very good one. Styles and Derek both learn important lessons from the other about where to put their love and the danger and benefits of building homes in people's hearts. It's sort of amazing how successful the slow build of it is when it stands fairly brief at only a little bit over 18,000 words. This fic is about putting a life and love back together brick by brick, and the writing in and of itself is arranged just as beautifully and carefully. Again, this is an underrated fic, and when you get the chance, go read it, bookmark it, and leave some love in the comments, because this fic deserves it. Fic number 5, State of Readiness by Girl Guide Jones. State of Readiness has 245 comments, almost 900 bookmarks, and it's just over 40,000 words. Listen to me when I tell you that State of Readiness is perfection, and you must go read it immediately. This takes us back to the era of the Alpha Pack and our mostly inept Alpha Derek,
who I love and miss so much.
Our favorite betas are alive and well, but totally unprepared to face such an enemy again anytime soon. We enter the story establishing that the Alpha Pack has been defeated, barely, and now that Derek has time to dedicate putting his pack together with things a little bit stronger than Twig and Spit, he decides on one-on-one training with everyone, where everybody has a mentor and a student. So every pack member is a student and mentor to someone else in the pack. But who will be Derek's mentor? Styles. It's Styles. This fic leans heavily towards Styles' POV. And through him, we get to watch Derek learn how to let his guards down again, how to communicate properly with words, and more importantly, how to reconnect with other people. It doesn't just deal with the issues of Derek's lack of experience in leadership and his current concerns post-Alpha Pack destruction, but the emotional baggage of his past and how he can move on from all of that now that there's some room to breathe. A very, very good fic. Everyone should go read and comment. Fic number 6 is Open the Door by Renee. Please listen to me about Open the Door. Open the Door was the first hysteric fic I ever bookmarked. I was like, at the end of that fic, I was like, I need this entire fic engraved on my tombstone. When I'm feeling really, really sad, it's the fic that I go to immediately for a reread. Open the Door has just over 300 comments and almost 3,000 bookmarks. What are those numbers? Leave more comments right now. Go to Open the Door and leave comments. It's an amazing fic. There's so much to say about it. And there's so much I can say about Open the Door, but I can't do that because spoilers and stuff, and I know that I have to wrap this up because I'm sure this is already going to be a really, really long video. I apologize. But go leave comments. Renee deserves it. Open the Door stands very confidently with a summary that only reads, Derek gives Styles his jacket. Are you getting emotional yet? Because I am. Open the Door is a slow build at just under 25,000 words. It features overprotective sheriff, who has one of my favorite lines ever for the sheriff in any fics. I feel like he does not get cool dialogue in fics often. And he has some really great scenes in that. It features fairies, shifters, Snobby Jackson, who I miss so much, and Allison, a very helpful Allison. Renee should have stormed into the writer's room for Teen Wolf, chased everyone out with a fire hose, and just taken over, honestly. So go over there onto AO3 and read it. Fic number 7 is You Saw Me Standing Alone by Orphan Account. This fic does not have enough love. Y'all are sleeping on this fic, and that's not cool. You Saw Me Standing Alone settles pretty neatly into the in-between of Season 2 and Season 3A, wherein the banter and bonding between Derek and Styles is so perfect, so in character, and so well written. They should have aired this fic and just been done with the entire show. I won't spoil much about this fic, but I do want to mention why this fic changed something in my brain about tropes. There's a scene between Derek and Styles in this fic where they talk about the bite. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the dialogue, which stars protective Derek and oblivious Styles, read to me as such a sexually charged scene that it made just talking about the bite in fics something like romantic and sexy. I don't know, but You Saw Me Standing Alone made the bite, or the discussion of it, just the discussion of it, very sexually charged, and it's very good. So if you want a well-written fic where Derek and Styles honestly fall head over heels for each other just the way they are, grumpy, mean Derek and sarcastic, dangerously inquisitive Styles, go read it, obviously. And seriously, this fic has under 200 comments, and it deserves way, way more. So go leave some love on it. Fic number 8 is Play Crack the Sky by We Are the Cyclones. I will not talk about Play Crack the Sky. We're not talking about Play Crack the Sky because I can't afford that kind of emotional upheaval. Play Crack the Sky. Play Crack the Sky. That fic ruined me. And I recommended it to a bunch of people. I just, like, as soon as I finished it, I was like, go cry. If you don't already know it, and at nearly 700 comments and over 1,600 bookmarks, I find it hard that you wouldn't know about it. I know you've at least heard about it. It is a famous banned alternate universe that's so fucking real and agonizing, you'll be mad that I recommended it to you. I think I spent like 10 hours reading that fic, like 10 hours straight. It's 123,000 words. So I didn't go to sleep. I like sat in the living room and let everything go dark around me while I just sat there and like powered through it. If you're a fan of angst and pining and love-making and childhood friend tropes, read this fic and you can rest in peace. The only other statement I'm going to make about Play Crack the Sky is that there is a game the author writes about in this fic that Styles and Derek play called Fair or Unfair. The rules of the actual game are unclear and they're never explained. But when Derek and Styles play the game, you understand the game when they're playing it. To this day, it's one of the most organic, realistic, and original concepts I've ever read in a fic. Honestly, it really stayed with me. Just thinking about it makes me all emotional, so we're done talking about Play Crack the Sky. Fic number 9, Now Until the End, by Dira Sudis. I hope I'm pronouncing that even partially correctly. Sorry. Now Until the End is a very unique alternate universe fic that was so visually accurate that images I made up in my head while reading it come back to me like a movie or an episode that I actually watched. So Now Until the End takes us from Season 1, Episode 4, the Magic Bullet episode, and thrusts us into a canon-divergent alternate universe where Styles unintentionally bonds his soul to Derek's, and romantic chaos ensues. This fic captures the tension between Scott and Derek in the early days of Teen Wolf beautifully, and it really embraces the gruff, angry, closed-off, no-nonsense Derek Hale that we all originally fell in love with. The soul bond between Styles and Derek speaks to a much more primitive aspect of Derek's very being, and he forces distance between himself and Styles, which he puts Scott in charge of enforcing, which, I mean, is a bad idea. Canon or fanon, don't put Scott in charge of anything. And of course, the barrage of guilt and self-blame we all expect comes crashing down onto Derek, and even with all of that in the way, the distance can't last long. I particularly love canon divergent fics that take us from a specific episode and retell the story from there. The universe is so visible and tangible. All of the characters are very well written, and the tension is palpable. It's very good. Now Until the End is an amazing fic, and at only 166 comments and about 880 bookmarks, it has not received all the love it deserves. Go read it. Leave comments. I swear you're gonna love it. It's a really, really, really good fic. Fic number 10, Hide of a Life War by Etheri? Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sorry if I'm not. Hide of a Life War is a very fandom popular fic, so you probably have heard of it. You've probably seen it on lots of fic rec master lists, or you've contributed to its 520 comments or 5,800 bookmarks. Height of a Life War features badass motherfucker styles in a hostage situation. Also, this was the first fic that I ever read that regarded styles or called styles the boy with no name. That's so badass. Like, I don't know if this fic made that a trope, or if it already existed before this fic, but I love it so much. The boy with no name. It's fucking badass. The actual steric in the story is a story unfolding within the story. Almost like out of order, like Pulp Fiction style. We're getting bits and pieces of the steric throughout. And besides the fic being fantastically original, really intriguing, very unique, it is really, really well written. Height of a Life War is one of my favorite fics to go back to, and if you haven't read it yet, reserve a few hours for its 26,000 words. You'll be amazed by the density of story packed into 26,000 words, and by the end of it, you'll be wishing that there was 26,000 words more. For reals. So, 10 of my favorite fics, randomly chosen. Follow the links. We're going to have links at the bottom of this video to connect you to those fics. I would like to thank all the fic writers out there. You guys do amazing stuff. And I've been part of a lot of fandoms. I've been part of the Harry Potter fandom, Lord of the Rings fandom, a lot of anime fandoms that I'm not proud of, and the Teen Wolf fandom, and particularly the sub-fandom that is the steric fandom, has some of the most talented writers I've ever seen on the internet. You guys, seriously, you produce novel-length fan fictions that are so incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your talent with us. And, of course, everybody watching, go thank your fic writers. Leave comments. Engage them about their writing. Tell them your favorite parts and why. Do it. You know that as a fic writer, that's like the best part of any day, is when somebody writes me about something that I wrote, that they read, and that they liked. And that's it. That's it. Thank your fic writers. Engage them about their writing. Leave comments with your kudos. And go read everything I recommended to you, because they're all fantastic and I have great taste.
Pretty amazing porn. Pretty amazing porn. Pretty amazing porn.